Voiceover Masterclass's Top 20 Voiceover Tips. Hello, Peter Baker here. I'm a professional voiceover. I'm one of the team behind Voiceover Masterclass, a series of courses to help voiceovers become even more successful. There's so much to learn to being a professional voiceover, but I've been given a challenge to give you my top 20 voiceover tips in this video. You're welcome to subscribe to our channel, click that alarm bell to get notifications of new videos. We also have our own Patreon channel, so if you're serious about being successful as a professional voiceover, you must check that out. Now, if you haven't time to watch all of this video now, you're welcome to click the link below and download the free PDF containing all 20 tips. I won't even ask you for your email address, and you're welcome to download the PDF completely free. Anyway, let's get going. Voiceover Masterclass's Top 20 Voiceover Tips. Tip 1. I assume you're recording a voiceover for somebody else, in which case you need to ask the client exactly what they need. I know that sounds crazy, but so many newbies to voiceover work don't seem to do this, and they wonder why they have to re-record their script again and again until they record exactly what the client wants. We go over this in enormous detail in the Voiceover Masterclass courses, but basically you need to ask what voice style they need, the emotion, the volume, the pitch range, what particular words need to be emphasized in the script, and the tempo as well. Also, if your voiceover recording needs to fit into a particular duration. Asking these basic questions will save you and your client a lot of time and hassle, and it shows that you're professional when you ask these things. As regards voice style, which is very subjective, if the client hasn't asked for a particular style from one of your own showreels on your website or a file that you've sent the client before as a demo or audition, then ask the client to send you a link of a video on YouTube or whatever of a voice style they like that you can imitate. Tip 2. Before recording any voiceover, you do need to warm up. This is so extremely important. Many people seem to think you can get in front of the microphone, switch on record, and deliver at 100%. Look, no sports person or athlete would ever think of doing that, so why should you as a voiceover? At least you need to make sure you're fully hydrated, have done some basic head rolls and muscle stretches to fully relax yourself, even if you're about to do a hard sell commercial. Basically, the more relaxed you are in front of the microphone, the more likely you'll be able to do a natural and flexible read that the client will love. You need to warm up your actual voice as well with some low humming exercises and maybe some tongue twisters as well as stretching exercises for your mouth. Tip 3. Even though the client may have told you exactly how they want the script recorded, you need to determine who is going to be listening to this in the final piece of media. In other words, who's the target audience? By having in mind the type of person who you are communicating to, even though you'll not be changing any words, you'll be much more effective at emphasizing certain words naturally and speaking in a way that's subtly more directional to that all-important target audience. Tip 4. Check your pronunciations. For corporate scripts and business presentations, there quite often are business names and acronyms that you need to find out exactly how they are spoken at that organization, or else you'll just have to re-record it again a waste of time for you and your client. If your script has place names or people's names you're not sure of the pronunciation of, ask for an audio recording from your client for those before you record. I assure you that an audio recording read slowly and sometimes even split into syllables for difficult foreign names will be far more useful for you than your client attempting to write down pronunciations. Now, I know there is a phonetic alphabet, but not many people know how to use it or use it correctly. So clear and slow audio recordings are far better for everyone. Tip 5. If you're not in a professional studio or not in a professional environment that you've made yourself at home, then make sure you are surrounded by soft furnishings, drapes, and plenty of carpet on the floor. You want to reduce any audio reflections where you record. If you have to record in quite an acoustically live room, then put a towel over your head. Okay, you look stupid, but no one will know. The microphone as well, and this helps a lot to absorb any echoes or reflections all around you. Tip 6. For most voiceover recordings, you need to be about 8 inches away from the center of the microphone and at a slight angle. You need to use a pop filter as well in front of your microphone, so those nasty plosive sounds don't create nasty distortions on the recording. Tip 7. When you're recording and you make a mistake, don't think you can simply pick up again from the middle of the sentence. Now, you may be able to do this when you're very experienced, but look, it's far better to start the whole sentence again. If the script is quite long and you won't have time to check it all at the way through, then simply leave a gap of at least 5 seconds when you make a mistake. Then, when you look at the recording in your software program, you can see exactly where to zoom in and get rid of the mistakes. Some voiceovers clap their hands or click a clicker, which does the same sort of thing, but I prefer to leave a gap, because in this time you can think more about where you went wrong or simply have a sip of water, and it saves hurting your hands. Tip 8. Remember that nobody's ever going to see you, so move your arms around and make facial expressions if it helps your delivery to improve. I personally do this a lot. Moving my arms really helps me project, and I've created my own sort of sign language. It helps me to clarify words and to be more expressive. I may look absolutely stupid doing all this stuff, but I don't care, because I know the finished audio product will be better and nobody can see me. Tip 9. If you need to start the sentence with a very hard and up-tempo delivery, you need to punch the air. Again, no one is ever going to see it, but it really helps in making it sound amazingly powerful on the audio recording on your first word in particular. Tip 10. If you have a very long sentence where the client doesn't want you to take a breath, or it was simply sounding wrong to take a breath in the middle of it, then read when you've run out of breath, stop where you know you'll be able to edit the two halves together. Then take a big deep breath. Doesn't matter how noisy it is, because you're going to cut it out. In edit, you cut that noisy out and simply cut the two halves together, and you'll get the full long sentence without any breaths. A great technique, however, you must remember to start the first syllable of the second half of the recording at a low energy level. Just the first syllable, or else it would really sound, when you've edited it, you have stopped and started again. We go into this technique in more detail in the Voiceover Masterclass. Tip 11. If as a professional voiceover you find yourself having to cut out noisy breaths afterwards in edit, try training yourself to not breathe as noisily. Yes, by being more physically fit, increasing your lung capacity, you'll not have to breathe as often as you do now, and you can try standing up rather than sitting down. But if you learn a technique where you breathe in through your mouth rather than through your nose, you'll find the breath sound much reduced on the recording. Tip 12. During your recording, it's important to stay in character. This means that the first sentence of your script and the last one, and everything in between, has to be the same voice style, the same emotion, the same volume, pitch range, emphasis, tempo. Now, this is unless, of course, the client specifically wanted you to change any of these during the script, of course, which is kind of unusual. And if you are sticking to a particular accent or dialect, of course, you must keep this in your voice all the way through. You'll find your own favorite way of sticking in character. Some people like to put on hats or certain jackets when they're being certain characters, or keeping an accent on, or simply imagine themselves as a film or TV star that has a similar voice style or accent. Tip 13. If you're recording fiction audiobooks, keep a reference file of all the characters. That way, even though you may be recording the audiobook over several weeks, when a character speaks again, you can simply listen to one of your earlier recordings of that character, then imitate that voice exactly. This saves so much time. Spooling back to earlier chapters, trying to find sentences where the character speaks takes forever. Honestly, that system is the best. Tip 14. Learn your audio software capabilities. Even basic audio editing software these days can have some amazing capabilities. If only you could find them. Well, experiment and look up training videos, and you may discover all sorts of very useful things, as well as multi-band compression to make your voice sound more powerful. You'll find all sorts of useful tools such as time stretching, contracting, reverberation, and filters to make you sound maybe like you're an old-time radio presenter or whatever, or software that can make your voice deeper Many other features are on the high-end programs like Adobe Audition, an enormous time-saving capability for most professional audio editing programs are keyboard shortcuts. Now, if you spend the whole day editing voiceover audio, you can save so much time by simply clicking keyboard shortcuts rather than going into menus all the time for basic things like compression that you will need all the time. Tip 15. If you're asked as a professional voiceover to record an audition for a job, try and ask as many questions as possible about the delivery and style of voice the client wants. Now, if that information is not available, and sometimes you're not even given a flippin' script, you will need to send your most appropriate show reels and guess. Ideally, you'll have an audition script and also some idea of the style of voice and speed. Unless you've been told to only give one take, offer at least 3 different takes, maybe different speeds, different accents, different attitudes. You never know, one of those might be exactly what the client is looking for. Tip 16. If the client wants any changes, even if the script has changed a little bit and it wasn't your fault, cheerfully and promptly make those changes and send them back. Do not gripe. The voiceover world is a very competitive one, and clients are sometimes very demanding. If you don't do as you're asked, they may quite often look for one that will do what they're asked. Quite often, there is an end client that you will never know of. You don't even hear of these people, but they're the ones who actually change the script. So you'll be doing the person you're working for at the production company a big favor by simply re-recording the script for no fee. So why work extra for no extra money? Because that client will love you and use you again in the future, of course. Tip 17. Be flexible when it comes to giving quotes. Don't just stick to your own price list. You may find a client who was willing to offer you regular work, but at a lower rate, and that may work out to be a better deal and give you a better income than less jobs at your full rate. Unless it's obvious that you're about to be ripped off, be reasonable with clients and appreciate when maybe they haven't got a large budget for a voiceover. Tip 18. When you're sending out audio demos and show reels, it's fine to attach MP3 files to your emails. However, when you're sending out the finished voiceover, MP3 format won't be good enough quality, and your clients will need a larger WAV or AIF file. Now, these larger files won't be able to be attached to your email, but the good news is you can get a WeTransfer channel and send them a WeTransfer link, which will then give them a cycling 3-screen advertisement to your services in the background on their screen when they download your file. Ooh, a double win. Tip 19. Audition for as many voiceover jobs as you can. Unless you're busy with fully paid work during the day, of course, the auditions will keep you busy, offer you a variety of jobs, and even on potential jobs where you feel you haven't got much chance of getting, you will be surprised sometimes, particularly for radio and TV commercials. Ad agencies may like a voice that's different from the usual stable of voiceover talent and simply love your style on your audition. Do something weird or wacky, you never know. Yours could be the voice to cut through, as they say in ad agencies, on their TV or radio commercial campaign. And tip 20. Remember that you never stop learning. Listen to radio commercials, watch TV commercials, analyze narration of documentaries, find people that you admire as voiceovers or presenters and work out why you like them. How are they using their voice to communicate effectively or to add charm and charisma to their outward personality? Subscribe to a training course. I can recommend a very good one. It's called Voiceover Masterclass, and you're very welcome to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click the alarm bell for notifications of new videos. We do have our own Patreon channel, so if you are serious about being successful as a professional voiceover, and that means loads of money for fun work, you must check that out. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to download the free PDF at the link below.